This is my harvest of peppers. I grew 2 pepper plants, and I probably got at least 60 peppers here. This is going to be my first time trying to make some homemade hot sauce. So the first step that I did is, you see some of these are dried out. So right now I'm heating up some water, and I'm going to put these peppers in there and try to let them reabsorb a little bit of that water. What we're trying to do is to kind of get them to reabsorb some of the water so that they become nice and plump. And what we're doing is I'm putting this just on warm. You can see that there's a little bit of bubbles. It's not boiling or anything. That it's just supposed to be some hot water. I have it on really low heat right now. And then I'm going to put a little bowl or something to kind of hold these peppers down, make sure that they stay submerged in the water. While the peppers are getting full of that water, we're going to go ahead and prepare the rest of our ingredients. Now, we need 5 cloves of garlic. Now, that was something that always really used to confuse me because I didn't know what a clove was. So for those of you that do not know, a clove is one of these. This is a clove, right? This whole big thing is called a bulb, okay? So if you ever hear something that says 5 cloves or a clove, now you know what a clove is. So it says that we need 5 of these. So let's just go ahead and separate them here. And the thing that we want to do with these, we don't necessarily need to chop them up because they're going to get chopped up later. For right now, we're just separating them. We're going to take all of the skin, all of this little papery stuff, we're going to take it off of them. And the easiest way that I found to do that is just take it on the side and just kind of smash it. And it actually, at least for me, makes it very easy to just peel this backside just right off once you smash it. So we're going to do that to all of the garlic, and then I'll show you the next step. Peppers have been on the stove in that water for about 15 minutes, and you can see that they're getting nice and they're starting to plump up quite a bit. So I pulled them off the heat. Now what we're going to do is we're going to make sure that we get these little green tops off of them. Right now we can cut them, and if you have sensitive skin, you want to be doing this with gloves, because if this, the chemical, the active ingredient in the peppers, if it gets under your fingernails, it can burn a little bit. But what you're going to want to do is chop off these little green tops. Now, if you want it to not be as spicy, you would open this up and you would take out all these little seeds. Let me show you some of these seeds here. This thing is filled with seeds. So these have a lot of the spicy compound in them. So if we don't want our sauce to be that spicy, we're going to open up the peppers and take these out. So since this is my first time making the hot sauce, I don't want it to be too spicy, so I'm going to take the seeds out of all these peppers, and I'll show you the next step when we're done with that. Ready for the exciting part. We have the peppers with the tops off, seeded. We have the garlic, the salt, the paprika. Here's the vinegar, and now we are finally getting to put everything together and start cooking the hot sauce. So I'm going to start off and pour the vinegar into here. So there's our vinegar. Again, it's 2 cups, which that's exactly what this bottle is. So that's the only reason I'm not measuring. Measuring is usually really important, but if I have a bottle and I know it's 2 cups, then that's fine also. So then all of our peppers are going in here. The garlic, again, the garlic doesn't need to be cut up super fine or anything like that. It can go in. Our salt, there it goes. Just make sure we get all of that. And then our paprika. And then here's another pepper. So we're going to just gently mix all of that together. And then we're going to put it on the stove. It's going to come to a boil, and then as soon as it gets to a boil, we are going to turn it off and let it simmer for about 25 minutes. So we got it on high heat. Let's let it come to a boil, and then we'll go from there. Okay guys, so now we're actually going to blend this all together. Now be careful, because this is going to be, it's not boiling hot, but it's still pretty warm. So you want to make sure that your food processor can handle this heat. And if you don't know for sure, it's always okay to wait a few minutes for this thing to cool down. So we're going to put our lid on here, and this is going to get really loud, but we're going to go ahead and blend this up. So here we go. Blended this up for about a minute, and I would blend for about 15 seconds, shake it up, blend for another 15 seconds, shake it up. So we want this to be almost completely liquid. So whatever particles didn't get completely blended up, what we want to do is pass this through a strainer so that the strainer will catch any of these particles that didn't get completely blended up. So let's just pour it through the strainer here. And it looks like we did pretty good because I'm not seeing hardly any of these particles. There's a little bit of pulp. You can see there's a little bit of pulp still that's not going through, but overall I would say pretty good. Now, this is going to go in the sink. We'll clean that out later. And then normally, if you were going to make this, you would like put it in some nice bottles or something like that, but this is just for us. It's just our first try. So I have a mason jar that I've cleaned it out really well, and we're going to go ahead and just put our hot sauce in here, and we're going to put it in the fridge, and then we'll try it in a few days and see how it is.